Good morning. My crypto journey. Hive and PeakD for the person who is not blogging, posting, or doing video right now. So I thought about this 2 days ago. How to get your crypto sweat equity if you're not someone who is generating a lot of content right now. This is a harder mindset for me because I'm extremely prolific. So I almost always have something in hand that I can turn into a post, but I realize that's not everybody's situation. As I was doing my videos in Grown Black Folks Talk, I also realized a lot of people are just plain exhausted because of, getting through the day, doing the survival things, trying to find another income source is adding on to a schedule that's already really full. It's very hard to be creative when you're exhausted. So, what do you do if you do not have time to be able to create something from scratch, but you have time to be online commenting about different content? There is a solution. This is called doing collections of posts in PeakD. PeakD is the only front end on the Hive blockchain that allows you to make collections in a very straightforward process where a lot of the work is done for you. Allow me to show you. I'm going to show you how you would do this from scratch. Then I'm going to show you how I set up templates so I can segment the things I want to collect. And then I'm going to finish one of the collections I'm working on live and publish it. So it just so happens because every week I put out a curated collection. Things Miss D Likes is a curated collection. So we're going to actually go through this from start to finish so you can see how the process works. Now, your PeakD may look a little bit different from mine because I leave mine on dark mode. Yours might be cream colored when you first come to it. It might be cream colored. And move myself a little bit here. Now, when you go into Hive, we've talked about scheduling and drafts. And what we haven't talked about yet are create a collection of posts. It is an option when you first come in. And when you make your first collection of posts, what you see here is this little thing. And the community goes into is curated collections. Now you can put them in any community that you might happen to be involved in. I have a nice long list. We did the video about how to go to PeakD communities and find where you might want to put something. But let's just go through this part here, okay? This is your placeholder, okay? Now what you're going to want to do is, depending on how many collections you want, how I generally start is just make my life easier. I do a bunch of these so that I don't have to be worried about running out. It's kind of a bear. Once you understand the coding, you can always make one of your own. But the best thing to do is to make a couple of copies of that placeholder and not delete it. It's just going to make it easy. Now, let me blow this up a little bit for you. Okay, so we can kind of see step by step what's going on. We're going to call this new collection for now. Okay. Now, what happens when you copy and paste another PeakD link in here? I'm actually going to add this to a post later. So we're going to use this one. Okay. So what happens? We got to back up again. All right. So this is your preview. This side of the screen is your preview side of the screen. So what happens when you put a link in here? Boom. A preview of that comes up. And obviously it's number 1. So you put that in over here. Number 1 in over there. And it comes up over here. And then all you do, I'm going to type on this side of the screen. You watch this side. I keep forgetting the other right. You watch this side of the screen. I'm going to type on that side of the screen. So here we have, as you see, as I type, my comment is coming up over here. Now, something really important happens here. I want to say macro because I'm actually going to use this in a minute. Okay. I'm actually going to use this in a minute. Okay. So I want to get it the way I want it. So all I did was I copied and pasted a link, put it in the placeholder area, and then I wrote my comment. And that's it. And I have started my collection. If you cannot do anything else because time constraints, you can always make collections of things that you like. Now, this just happens to fit. So if I was to go find my number two, might put that there first, but you see it doesn't become visible over here until later. Let me see if I can go find my number two. All right, this is some news, and this is some news I actually do need to add to one of my posts. Okay, so we've got some crypto shenanigans going on in the world, and I have a reason to put that somewhere, and we'll get to that in a minute, but we'll put this in here now. So all you do is copy all of this, all of it in the parentheses. Let me show you. Copy everything, everything in the parentheses, replace it with the link to the post, and boom, there it is. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to what? Write a comment. Now, what's my comment going to be? Word of a fake airdrop in the world of Leo finance is going around. Now, it's very important that you use the name of the creator, that you tag that person. Gives us the heads up and warns us to stay on our toes. All right, so you write that there, and boom, it's formatted over here. All right, and you're done. That's it. Now I'm going to take both of these actually and put them in a different post, but we'll come back to that in just a minute. Okay, so now that I've done my comment here, well, suppose you want to be a little bit more organized, okay? Obviously, you can just throw together anything that interests you, but maybe you want to be a little bit more organized. Obviously, this is photography, and obviously, this is news. And it makes sense that way to me because I am a professional journalist. So because I'm a professional journalist, it doesn't make sense to put those two stories together. Your results may vary. You may want to just put things in, make 10 posts that just appeal to you, for example. We're going to leave that one for the time being. I'm actually going to take some things out of there and put them somewhere else. Okay, let's try, but let's go through this whole process again because I really do want you to see it. Let me do this again. And I really have confidence with love in mind as I do this. Okay, let's say we're going to organize a little bit more. Let's say you want to do one topic, okay? So here we go again. What am I going to do? I'm going to create a collection of posts. That's my option when I come in, okay? What if I decide at the beginning that I want to do something different, okay? Um, all right, so I have a themed post now, Women of the African Diaspora on Hive. So basically this is Black women around the world. Let's say I want to do this. I know that most of my subscribers here are Black women. So what if I wanted to every week, which I may actually start doing because there's a lot of Black women on Hive, around the diasporas. Not about a lot of American Black women yet, but I know the necessity of us seeing ourselves. So let's say that I was going to start this. Now, there's a couple things I might do here. I might decide I have a couple of themes. I might decide that I want to do a theme on professionals. Well, let me do music because I know, arts. Now, I put this out here. This is a header tag. Header 1, header 2, header 3, header 4, header 5, header 6. As you get along and you really get into the coding, you probably want to organize things. This is a header 1. So let me just start with arts because I know where I'm going to go get this post. So now we have women in the diaspora in arts. So again, that's a header tag. Now, if you don't want it to be that big, if you have some more title information, you add another hashtag. You get a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, add another hashtag, and so forth. You can make 7 sets of headers, 6 sets of headers in here, plus your title. So I rarely use a header 1 unless I'm making a division, and you'll see where I use them. And of course, that's a little bit more complication than maybe you want. But in order to be able to divide your content up, say you have a theme like this, then you probably want to go ahead. Now I know where I'm going to get that post. There was some beautiful singing in Hive Open Mic. And some beautiful Black women who are in there doing it. So I know where I'm going to go get that post. Well, at least I did yesterday. A lot of people have posted since I was last in here. Oh, well, all right. That's a familiar face. I suppose I am a Black woman on Hive, huh? I normally don't post myself because the whole point of this is not to is not to do that. But boom, I found a Black woman making music on Hive. But again, I'm not gonna post myself. That was the most recent one. I listened to some very beautiful. Princess Busasayo is from Nigeria, and then there's Ben Mag. I really enjoyed her post. So if you decide you want to do something different, you just copy over the one that's already there, and boom, there she is. That's how you do a collection on Hive. And all you have to do is write an uplifting comment. Now, when you do these, I want you to see that the name of the person who made the post is always right there. You always want to mention that name in your comments. You always want to mention that name in your comments because what is this going to end up doing? This is going to cause people to see what you're doing, and they're usually delighted to be mentioned. And so you begin to gather a following because you provided a beautiful comment. All you have to do is switch your mindset from those of you who come from the world of commenting and arguing. You just have to switch your mindset to commenting and supporting. And you can do any subject you want. I showed you, I'm going to have to close some of these. Actually, no, I don't. I've shown you that Hive has a ton of communities. So literally, you can do collections inside the different communities. You can do collections from communities that you think should go together, but they're not often together. So, for example, Q inspired by music, and Hive Open Mic in my group might make a good collection. Okay, Alien Art Hive and Sketchbook might make a good collection. And I don't see it here, but on-chain images, on-chain art might make a good collection. But believe me, I can do enough between here and here to do multiple collections. I have photo essay, I have pen mapple. Pen mapple is almost all photographs. I might be able to do those things together. So you can make collections from different communities that you think should go together. Free Writers, Self Magazine, and Blockchain Poets, or Q Inspired by Music, which is about storytelling about music, could also go together. Okay, so that's your basic breakdown. What you want to do is go to collections on Hive. Now watch this. So I've started these posts. Guess where they have gone now? They're in drafts. They're in drafts. So if I want to come back and work on them, they're there. And in fact, we will reopen one of those in a minute. But next, let's say I want to get organized in advance. I don't want to have to keep doing this. Well, this is where we go to create templates. So you have new templates over here, and you can create a new one. But let's look at the one that I use to make things Miss D likes. This is now the 22nd week. And so what I've done is I have divided it up I'm going to put these things in Loving Hive. I know what community I'm going to put them in, but that's not important right now. We're not making a post at the moment. Things, Miss D, like I've already rounded up in a way that makes sense to me. So I have the roundup. I have a big summary of what it is we're going to present. I haven't done my summary yet, but we're going to do that live. So here I have news. Let's look at it over here to look at the different categories. And like I said, and I use a header too in here that's more detailed than you probably want right now, but that's how you make them big like that. So I have the roundup, then I have news, new hivers. I make sure to include new people that are coming in. We're going to do that part live on my actual post coming out today and complete it. Art, photography, fiction, travel, commerce, finance, philanthropy. There's often philanthropic things going on in Hive on a particular day. And then we're going to do oldies but goodies because sometimes there are posts that are too old to vote on, but they're still tippable in PeakD. Okay. So you can make your templates ahead of time. And then what happens is, if I can get it to shrink again. Once you've done this, let me go back a page. All you do when you want a new one is create a post and it goes into your draft box. Now, as it happens, we have a draft already open. And I'm going to duplicate this tab real quick. Excuse me, y'all. Spring is here and so are the allergies. So, just so happens that I have one already going, and today is June 2nd. So, let me show you something. In this box, I'm going to open the things Miss D likes. Okay, so you can see this one is pretty much done. It's pretty much full this week. And you can put as many in there, and also you can add to them afterwards. But because we're kind of looking at the payout side, we're going to look at, okay, maybe we don't want to do the afterwards. Maybe we want to go ahead and post a new one every 7 days so we keep our income coming in. Maybe we don't want to continue to add, although this is a very good way to use things. You're just trying to get stuff together. But we're looking at it from an income generation point of view. All right, so I have 2 empty sections in here, but I also said I was going to take these items that I found and put them in the appropriate baskets. So here we have the news item. We're going to take this out of here. And we're going to copy this whole news item over here. So we know this is going to go into news and views you can use. Now I've said it's number 2, but I'm actually going to have to bump that one to number 1 because that's a big news item. Leo Finance is one of the bigger communities here on Hive. So the people need to, and that just means I have to renumber everything else. So let me let you see what I'm doing over here. I have 6 news items this week. So there's a lot happening. There's a careful, got to be careful about a fake airdrop. There's a Hive Fest coming up. 3Speak is now available on the Apple Store. That's important. We have a video to do about what if you're a video poster coming up, but I needed to wait until that happened. So those of you on Android and Hive could both have access. Numbers of other communities, lots of stuff going on. Now, the section we have not finished yet, this is actually really important. I'm going to put this article in the description. Remember how I told you about how to do your headers? This is a complete guide to the code, which is called Markdown formatting to help you do that. You'll find that in the description of this video. So we have an empty deck, new hivers. So I'm going to go over here. Actually, let me take this one out of here too and put this in the appropriate place. It's going to be number 4. So make sure that you do your numbers so people know where they are, 3 and 4. All right, and let's see if it made it. Yep, there it is. Again, Type, you need to move things around. You type up your comment, you type up your link, and there it is. There it is. Community here is fascinating insects. So that's another thing for photographers, for those of you that are into that. All right, so I haven't numbered all of these yet, but you see the category. Now this week, I don't have a commerce story. So you know what you do if you put up your templates and you don't have it? It just disappears. No stress over here. All right, so what I do want to fill in, because I always do it, is I need some new hivers. So again, I'm going to give you another demonstration of how simple this tool is to use. Let me bring this up so that you can see what is going on. Okay, it looks empty now, right? We see we have the placeholder text. Let's go into from here. We've saved that draft as it is. I'll leave that as it is for right now. Intro post. So if you wanted to feature people who were just coming on board, what post name would you use? You can also use that. We'll talk about the search at another time. It's a little bit janky. And there's not much in here today, which is weird. At least not on that keyword. This is new. Introduce yourself. But no one's using it. No, there is someone using it. But in Portuguese, oh, she's a beauty too. This is a beauty from Brazil, and she's a Black woman. Mina, okay, this is my presentation on Hive from Brazil. Boy, is she a beauty. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take my limited Portuguese skills. I'm going to take my limited Portuguese skills and we're going to include her today because I can see enough about her to be able to do that. And as I've said to people before, something that I'm able to do is to take the platform I have and make sure that Black women get a top spot for once in their lives. I'm a Black woman myself. You can do whatever you want when you make your collections. It is what it is. She's a beauty. So even though this is not in English, I'm going to choose to overlook that. Now, I know enough from just looking at the photographs that this woman is a dancer. I also read enough Portuguese to know that. She is involved in she's involved in competitions, although that's obvious too from the photograph. What an extraordinarily beautiful woman. So what am I going to say in English about this? Well, there's a couple things, and she does have English down below. That's going to make life really easy. Here we go. Okay. She's a social worker. She works with children and adolescents. This is my kind of Black woman, for real. That's my wheelhouse right there. She's also a teacher, a student of dance, dance teacher and student of degree in dance. She's getting her degree. So a dancer. Um, I'm going to summarize her because her photograph suggests she's involved with dance more, with a heart for those in need in her community. Finds the rhythm of Hive. Everybody go show, because now remember, I ain't got to spell it. I ain't got to think about it. All I got to do is copy it to make sure she knows that I did that. Some good I love. All right. And there you go. And she is number one. There she is. She's from Brazil. What a gorgeous find. So that was the only person who ended up on this, usually not approved, but see, she's a beauty too. Look at here. Portuguese community is pretty big. Brazilian community is pretty big. She's doing fine. She still didn't pay out? Yes, 3 days ago. So, all right, I've got the first of my new hivers. Now, this hashtag is not going to help most people. What you want to do is introduce yourself. But she by herself is making that, she is making that hashtag pop by herself. Behold the power of Black women at work. This is actually what you want to do. Introduce yourself. And I'm going to just click on this because I want to get one more person. And I was also trying to get some things that would happen this year. That's November, curve 8. That's November 2024. That's not going to help. That's not of 2021. That's not going to help us today. So we wanted to use people who were instructed to use this tag. And there's enough of them out there. Now, I don't always there's a lot of people to choose from some weeks. And some weeks I can't find much of anything. But there's a lot here. So if I wanted to, I could make 4 posts. But today, I'm choosing another young lady from the African diaspora. Um, let's see. So she is Osinda, beautiful young lady, and she's from Ghana. She's a nurse. She has art, and she's also a writer. She does calligraphy, sign language, and she's an entrepreneur. Okay. All right. So what are we going to do? First of all, we're going to copy this post and boom, boom, there she is. And here's what we found out about her. A nurse with a passion for calligraphy. Sees the handwriting on the wall because something that happened in her personal life and comes to Hive. And of course, I'm always going to use the same thing. When you come here, I want what? I want you to be shown some love, but not Priscilla. I need this to be Osinda. I'm going to say it again. Always make sure that you include the tag of the person whose post you are including so that they notice that this is what you did. This is also an easy way to build a following, and people do sometimes follow you to your own work. Now, if you don't have any work, fine. Now, we are now complete. This is what I want you to see. Did I have to write any of these posts? I did not. I just had to find a way to organize them. Now, because this is sort of my brand, this part of my brand personality here, it would probably help if I go on and put my picture in here. You want to find a way to brand your collection. In other words, you want to put a picture up that represents something. But since this is things Miss D likes, there I am. This is my brand. This is edition 23. Now, I'm going to put you on pause for a minute because if you notice, I also have this in English and Spanish, and I need to now go and do the Spanish language edition, but I'm going to bring you back for us to do the publication so you see what it looks like when it comes out, okay? So let me stop share for a moment. Well, let me do the roundup. I have not done it yet. So I want to do a summary about everything that I see here. And also I need to take out the rest of these. They won't show, but I like a clean start. I need to take out the rest of these. I need to number the rest of these things. And this is tedium that you don't necessarily want to see on screen. I'll do a little bit of it because you need to do it yourself. Make sure that you go through and your numbers number. I mean, this is something I get frustrated by because I'm a journalist. And so if I don't see things numbered properly, I was an editor. So it's very, very frustrating to me. In this case, you have 1, you have a 2, make sure everything has a 1, a 2, a 3, that everything reads correctly. But this is tedium. And the other tedium that's coming is that I have to then go and put this all, use Google Translate and put all this in Spanish, since this is both in English and Spanish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you all on pause here. And we'll be back for me to hit the publication button, and I'll show you again what the steps are from draft to template to publication. So you'll be back in a second. Uh, just hang tight with me about another second for you. And we're back. So did all that tedium to make sure the post was together and also to translate it into Spanish. Heads up, if you have Spanish as a second language, Hive's second most important community is actually Spanish speaking because you have a lot of Filipinos who are coming on board who are really pushing Hive in the Philippines, but more importantly, Venezuela. Venezuela is moving. Venezuela is moving. In this edition 23 of Things Miss D Likes, which we'll see in a minute, they are sitting down, and the Hivers in Venezuela, in particular state, are sitting down with the Chamber of Commerce of their entire state, getting signed up to get businesses to use Hive and Hive back dollars, HBD. This is crypto adoption happening real time, and it's an honor as a professional journalist to be able to have a publication that reports on this happening in real time. But what I want to share with you right now is, okay, so we're going to do a review and then we're going to publish my big collection and see what it looks like. All right, so the simplicity. First thing, create a collection of posts. The easiest thing to do in the world is come up with a theme, create a collection of posts, and you can copy this a billion times if you need to do it. You can do it twice. Oops. 4 times. It's up to you. Of course, now you gotta not be tired from putting your numbers on things, of course, but it's up to you. Obviously, I've made room for 16 posts. And every time you drop a link in there from PeakD, this is important. It has to also be on PeakD because they're formatted to use post formatted in PeakD style. Every time you drop a link in there, I'm just going to pick one, whatever's on top here at random. uh, Here we go. We're going to pick Maggiata for the time being. All you do is pick a post, copy it over, all of that, and make a comment. I'm not doing a real one here. I like ice cream bread. But find something complimentary to say, I like ice cream bread. And here is a nice post about it from, do I need to spell the person's name? I do not. It is in the link just above. It's always going to be in the link. Make sure you tag that person. See, in every link that you copy, the name of the person that put it there is already there. You don't have to spell it. You don't have to think about it. You just copy it and paste it. Okay, done. You just make an uplifting comment. Make sure to tag them so they see it. And that's all there is. Okay? And of course, you can do themes. Since we took this one, you can do themes. Make up your mind what you want to talk about, and then just find posts to go with it. And you can always go into communities to go into all communities. Oh, hold on. Confirm, because we're not keeping that one. You go into communities and you find communities about food. And maybe it works and maybe it doesn't. PeakD share is PeakD search is a little bit janky. You can also just go do it manually, but no, no. Come on, there you go. Then if you want to do about food, there's a lot of food available for you to look through. So You go through communities, you find what you like, you write a nice comment about it, there you go. You can do themes. Or you can be somebody like me who likes to work ahead, and what you do is you go and also you make divisors. You make places where you can divide. You have a little bit more coding and you break it down. Like yours may be food, drink. There's a community called Amazing Drink. Uh, Vegetables, entrees. You make divisions. And let me show you again the headers for these. These are all header twos. So you need 2 hashtags to make a header. And I'm going to show you what that does when we publish the post. But in templates, if you know you want to do a particular thing, you go up and you set up your template the way you want it. So that all you end up doing when you get ready to actually do these, let me go back to templates, because we're about to publish 23. So guess what we do? Hit create post. We're about to publish number 23. So what does that mean? I go in here and I put in, and boom, boom, we're getting ready for next week. I just made a new post. And all this information that I have here is already here ready for me. It's already here. So once you made your templates, you just use them over and over and over again. You only need to decide one time what categories you want, put them in templates. Now you have actually, let me do this. You have a choice. Let me show you something. Let me show you how to make a template. That would help. And of course, we got all this extra stuff on the screen here. So it's hard to see it. Get rid of you. See, when you hit save draft, you have an option. Save as a template. So what you do is instead of saving a draft, you save it as a template. It shows up in here. But also, confirm. When you hit view templates, the easiest way to do it is new template. Okay. So I have mine. I've already started my edition 24 for next week. Well, that means we need to go and make sure that we're finished with edition 23, huh? That comes out today. Now, since you were last here, I have now gone and used Google Translate to make sure that this also is in English and Spanish. So now I've had a chance to look through it in English. I'm going to blow this up so you see what I'm doing. I'm going to put it to the right side. So we have all our numbers together. We're going down to make sure we have, you don't have to do anything that's complicated. This is just me. So now we have Spanish. And it's the exact same thing in Spanish, except now all my comments are available in other languages. And obviously it goes without saying, whatever Google can translate, if you like Deep L, that's fine too. Whatever they can translate, you can make posts. We have Spanish, Portuguese, German, Japanese, Chinese, Korean. We have a bunch of different languages out here. So you can go now and put them in English and in Spanish. So now this is done. And so now we're ready. So let's see what we got. So we publish it as a collection. So of course, when you get ready to publish, you hit publish. And I put it in the Loving Hive community over here. And so this is where this is going to show up. Now it takes a second to get there, obviously. Let's refresh the screen and see what happens. And there it is. Let's go in here for a second. Now, when you do this, you can see I'm someone who uses collections quite often, but let me show it to you as a collection, which is you have your comment is up here first, and then you have the post. Your comment is up here first, and sometimes a little bit long, but you click on this and people can see the rest of your comment, and all these posts end up here. Now, why did I bother to do all the stuff with the headers? You can also view this as a post, and my note to the editor is about click on view as post so that you can see this outline. all that work to get those headers divided this into a table of contents. So you can find the Spanish language content very easily, and then you can find the English language content very easily. So that's a toggle. If you make a collection, it can be viewed as a post or as a collection. So it works both ways. So you've made something that's accessible to people who just want to go ahead and read it like a newspaper and just read the headlines and read straight down, or also people that might want to take their time and read it. You have something that can be read with a table of contents so people can click on what they're interested in. Now, you don't have to do all that. That's just me, newspaper person, applying this to Hive. But for you, that may be too much. So for you, pick a theme. I would suggest you pick a theme. I have a couple of them here. My favorite foods of the world, women of the African diaspora, whatever you're into. That's some of what I'm into. And then, of course, I have my next edition already started by virtue of me having gone to my templates and just started the next one. Notice that I have not written anything. I have posts in here that are getting ready to go, but notice that I did not have to create anything myself. All I had to do was go enjoy what other people are doing, write a nice comment, collect enough together till I was satisfied, and publish it. And so can you. If you have no time to do creation and you have nothing's coming to mind right now, something you can do consistently, you can enjoy Hive's beautiful content and do collections that make sense to you. Make sure let me just hold on. Let me just show you this again. So instead of hitting a post, you create a collection, and that's where it starts. And when you create a collection, you're going to end up with something like this. Usually there'll be one tag. Copy those tags and make sure you have more than you need. Throw a link in there, and boom, your post comes up. You write a comment, and then guess what? Go to the next one. Do another post. Write another comment. Make it as big as you want. If I wanted to do it at this point, I could still be on Hive every day of the week, 7 days a week, and write nothing. If I ever had a severe block, that's what I would transfer to doing, now that I've thought about it. But if you're starting out and you don't have a whole lot to write and you don't think you're going to be able to post regularly in terms of your own creativity, then feel free to curate other content on Hive and be paid for it. Now, the other way to curate and be paid for it is just comment. Make sure that you comment on the post that you curate. That can be hard to do starting out because you don't necessarily have enough Hive power to do all that. But of course, y'all know if you come along with me, I'll make sure you have enough to do at least one post and 5 comments. So here's what you do. You take that one post and you make collections every day or 3 days a week, whatever makes sense to you. You come in there, you look around, you collect quality work. Be sure you collect quality work, and you make collections of beautiful things and mention people's names and write a nice comment and make sure their name is in your comment. And then answer your comments that you get because people will come and thank you. In fact, it's usually not this fast, but no, it's not quite this fast. Let me close some of these. Usually I get comments. People thank me for having included them. And of course, with being thanked with having included them, that gives me a chance to get to know them and to tell them more about what I think about their work. It's something that allows you to also build a strong network of people who remember you as someone who blessed them as a start. So that's the whole walkthrough. If you got questions, put them in the description. If you are getting signed up on PeakD, let me know, because that way I will go ahead and spot your account with enough Hive power for you to be able to do one post and 5 comments a day. Actually, yeah, one post and 5 comments a day so you can get started. And again, if you don't have any content you feel like you can create, that's okay. I've now showed you how you can become a good blesser of other hivers. Excuse me, y'all. Spring is here, and the allergies have not left yet, even though it's June. The opportunity for you to be able to get started without you having to feel the burden of having to create all this content. All right, next crypto journey video will probably not be today. because this one took a very long time. But the next time we have a crypto day, we will be looking at how do you, if you were someone who prefers to make videos, Hive has two front ends, but the easiest one is probably 3Speak. It's available on both on desktop, Android, and as of this week, it's in edition 23, Apple. So now that it's available on all platforms, we can talk about it. I can only demonstrate it on desktop, so you're going to have a little ingenuity, but I'll show you the rounds and what it looks like and how it works. That'll be next time. All right, have a good day now. I'll talk to you soon, and thank you for watching. I hope this helps you start your journey, because when's the best time to get your crypto? In a bear market. Now, I hope this is helpful to you. All right, have a good day, and thank you for listening. Bye.